All right, let's talk about what I'm going to call the unicorn reverb. And the unicorn reverb is what I imagine. I think I watched Legend too much back when I was a kid. The Darkness guy was too awesome. Anyway, I always think of this like a 80s aura reverb, a mystical, magical, and it's a big 3D thing. It's spacious, and it adds a thing, but it doesn't just sound like, I don't know, when you hit a snare drum in a school gym. It doesn't really do that. It doesn't even sound like a real place, in my opinion. Although, maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Anyway, well, I imagine it being real artificial, but good artificial. And I'm mixing this little guitar solo part of a sound. Let's take a look at it, what I had to begin with. Okay, so I got this kind of a soulful, pretty bluesy, whatever you want to call it thing. And what I'm hearing, what I don't like about it, or what it's missing some kind of, again, that aura. I want it to just kind of, when it hits a note, I want it to go, but kind of hang there. And not, again, I don't want it to sound like an obvious, real reverb. I just kind of want this sustaining wash thing going on. And I don't want it even so center. I kind of want it more left and right, actually. So what I've done, and I've got a bunch of different reverbs, and I've kind of learned them all in and out and like what they do and what they don't do. Now, actually, let's back up just a second. I've got the Reverence on here, which is an impulse of a broadcasting room. I think it's music room. I like that one quite a bit. But it does have an ambience to it. So check out the ambience here. And I think that first lick there kind of sums it up. We definitely have, like, it feels like it's in a space, but it doesn't feel like it goes, wow. And so what I've got here, I've gone through all my reverbs, and I know them pretty well, like strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. And I got this Oxford reverb that I'm a pretty big fan of, quite a bit of the time, actually. And I find it exceptional for this. So what I do, it's got this tail to early reflection ratio kind of mix thing going on. Early reflections, as you probably know, and we've probably covered it before, you hit an acoustic guitar string, for example, and that sound runs off and hits a wall, and then it runs back, and, you know, depending on the size of your room, that might be, 10 milliseconds, it might be 50, whatever, sound travels at 1 foot per second. But anyway, so you get these initial, almost a slapback kind of thing, depending on the distance. Well, those aren't of any use for the unicorn sound, and so what I do is I move this mix all the way up the tail. I want no early reflections. I just want the... Okay, and all I did also is I EQ'd to pull a little bit of the low end out and a little bit of the top end. I pulled the top end out because he kind of digs in a few spots. You can hear that pick attack, and I really didn't want the pick attack making a real bright sound in my unicorn sound. That's a big part of this unicorn sound, is ensuring that not too much bottom or top. And also, I haven't compressed it, but this track didn't really need it because the guitars are compressed so much already. But if it was really bouncing around, a lot of fluctuations in volume, I would definitely add a lot more, or add some compression to kind of just, again, I wanted it to be a thick, steady, wow. All right, and really you shouldn't notice it. It should be the kind of thing that maybe the average layman wouldn't consider to be reverb, and maybe they wouldn't notice at all. Okay, so here we go. Let's listen to it with my before. No unicorn reverb. And then let's put on the unicorn. There we go. You can really tell, listen to this note right here, it's the last one he hits, and how it sings now. It didn't sing before. It kind of just dropped off and kind of was missing something. So listen to that last note without it. It's lacking some sexiness there. And then we add this again. Little stuff, but it's the difference between like a really passionate, solo and maybe one that isn't so much. And just so you know, I'm going to turn this up and crank it way up so you can hear what's going on. I mean, this is a big sustaining thing. This is we got a reverb time of 2.5 seconds, basically. in a pretty damn big room too. I'm not sure what .78 means in overall size, but it's really big. But so I'm going to turn it all the way to 0, and let's see what that sounds like. And so you can see how that would really muddy something up if it was up way too loud. And we definitely wouldn't want to be sending drums or anything transient to this, most likely. But it's a good thing to blend in just a little to give your an extra sense of space, a decay, to your tracks. So definitely when duty calls, bring out the unicorn reverb. Thanks, guys. Bye.